Hey, Vin.
Hey, honey.
What can you say about the Cessna that crashed in North Carolina on Thursday?
Well, it's really sad. We're in trouble is the last three words that Greg Biffle's wife texted her mother before they went down. There's a lot that the NTSB has spoken about already. I think we all know it was Greg Biffle, NASCAR racing legend and philanthropist, his Cessna Citation 550 being flown from Statesville en route to Sarasota on December 18th, encountered some issues shortly after takeoff from Statesville Airport. Reports initially were surfacing that there was engine trouble. The ADSB data that I saw didn't seem to me that there was a tremendous amount of thrust losses. The flight pattern on the ADSB data seemed almost erratic. And of course, there was the weather, which was pretty inclement during the time of departure. Greg Biffle himself was a pilot, and the pilot apparently flying the aircraft was, I can only presume, a retired airline captain. Flew big jets his entire career. But what stood out to me was that his most recent type rating was for the C500, or this particular type of aircraft, and that was acquired in May of this year. This plane, falling under the C500 type rating, is a two-person minimum crew airplane. Both the pilot's son, who was on board, and Greg Biffle, between the two, neither of them were typed or qualified in this aircraft. This gentleman who was flying the airplane, on his certificate, there was a limitation that it was required that he fly the airplane with another qualified pilot. Now, there is such thing as a single pilot exemption letter, which he may have possessed, which would allow him to fly the airplane single pilot. It almost looked like they tried to land on the original runway they departed from, which was runway 10, maybe realized they were too high and too fast, broke it off for a left downwind, and made this tight left turn to come in on the opposite direction runway. What I can't figure out is how they had so much energy and altitude and then lost that all to fall short of the runway at a low altitude and a very slow airspeed. A tragedy for sure. The good thing is that this plane did have a cockpit voice recorder because it was previously flown under a 135 charter operation before being owned by Greg Biffle. Only time will tell, but I hope we get some answers soon.
Thanks, Pilot Vinny.
You're welcome.